Is it happening?
Are we live?
Hello?
Hey, everybody. Yes, right? Michelle can't hear me.
I hear you. I think we're good.
We're good? Okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Druid's Table. Don't miss these games we're going to be talking about tonight. DC20 and Alpha Clash. We are very excited. DC20 just got another $2,000 on their Kickstarter in the time we were waiting to go live. So check them out on Kickstarter. Links in the description below. I'm Dan.
I'm Kristen.
I'm Jacob.
And I'm supposed to be producing, but kind of getting caught up in a good book over here, which, all right, I'll set it aside. We're going to talk about it later. Guess I better get to my job.
You guys are here about to witness a bunch of nerdy family friends chat about all things news and reviews, TTRPGs, board games, and tabletops. I think it's time to clink and drink.
Let's do it.
Woo!
Clink and drink. And our dog might just stay in her bed. I won't even make eye contact. She'll come over
She's
here.
a three-nager.
Yeah, she is a
A
three-nager.
three-nager.
Yeah.
Is that what this is calling now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know exactly what we're talking about.
I mean, the owner of a 3-year-old and dogs and horses, which they never graduate
And a
past.
preteen.
Well, she's actually not. Yeah,
All right.
she could be worse.
Speaking of wild things,
Yes.
do you want to lead us off,
I will.
Jacob?
I'm
Because
just-
you brought this. I mean, obviously, I've been watching Dungeon Coach since he talked about Cogent, actually.
Yes.
Because we were doing all the Cogent stuff, and he was a real big proponent for it. So.
I mean, I'll start with my truthfulness. I honestly, when I heard about it, I was like, meh, another system. But
Yeah. I know the feeling.
then I saw the purple color.
Legitimately.
So tonight, we are going to talk about this new upcoming tabletop RPG. They're calling it a new evolution in tabletop RPGs. Innovative rules, intuitive gameplay, creative characters, and epic stories is what they aim to create with this. We're talking about DC20. If you haven't had a chance, we do have the link in our description below. It's their Kickstarter is going. It is over in what, 50 hours to go.
Yes, July 1st it ends. Yep.
I think that Stephen Glicker talked about it on his channel.
Dungeon Coach was on there.
Dungeon Coach was
Yep.
on there, yeah. And it is a really very interesting system. I have very much enjoyed pouring over it. As one who consumes a lot of systems, I can see what he's doing here, and it's beautiful. So I'm just going to talk first impression. Purple, love it. It's one of my favorite colors. I'll be 100% honest with you, and it's very captivating to my eye. I enjoy it a lot. And then I instantly downloaded the playtest rules preview, which is, I believe everybody can get access to that, especially if you Kickstarter. I know you do for sure.
Yeah.
It's clear. It's clean. It's intuitive. It makes sense. It has a lot of the Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder 2e feel put together with some very simplistic storytelling elements that really just bring together the ability to create a beautiful story with more simpler. I'm going to use that. I know it's not good English, but more simpler rules.
Yeah.
And just one thing that really stuck out to me is if you watch any of his YouTube, Dungeon Coach's YouTube videos about DC20, the passion that man has
Yes.
is so enjoyable. It's infectious. You know?
I'm smiling because in research, we were watching the videos multiple times at double speed.
Yeah.
Oh,
I bet.
Oh,
Because
that'd
he's
be
got
alright.
his hands going.
Yeah,
He's counting with his fingers. But I love it because it makes you feel. He feels the system, and he's sharing with you through a heart of passion. He wanted to create something that was different.
Yep.
And that fit what people. People are sick of 5th edition. They're sick of the garbage. They're sick of some of the things that need to be changed, and they're not getting changed.
Everybody drink.
I'm on a soapbox.
Make fun of 5e. We have to drink. Scrat's not in chat.
He was also a math teacher, he was saying before this. So it
Right.
plays well into he understands how numbers work.
Well,
and
he's
how
got
to
the
make
math
things
down.
balanced.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can really tell.
You absolutely. I mean, you got some points over there that you want to share, don't you?
I have
can
like 4
tell.
pages of notes.
She has so many
She
notes.
dove into this
and I
hardcore.
used purple pen. And
Wow.
I didn't even realize it.
Look at that.
That is,
Subconscious.
it's meant to be.
That's really good.
So, from a professional dungeon master point of view, just real quick,
Oh, yeah.
I am very excited to see this go off, and I really actually hope it steals from the player base of D&D 5th edition, and this becomes a viable a viable system for somebody like me to run, and it becomes widespread. I would love to see that.
Yeah.
But why that is, I think that Kristen can start explaining some of the reasons why it's awesome.
Yeah, I guess the first point would be
Sorry, Wes.
what?
Carry on.
No.
The action points system
Yes.
that he has in it is that everybody has 4 points per turn, and you can use those points at any point in the game. So you can use them as a reaction. You can stack those points to give yourself advantage or to take away disadvantages. And I feel like it keeps the game going, and everybody needs to pay attention because, like, usually you just play, your turn's over, you're like, I don't care, I'm just waiting for my turn. Now you need to pay attention. You need to be with it because then you can do reactions because everybody's playing at the same time.
Right.
But in an organized manner. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just wanting to piggyback off that because we just shout out to our Tales of Legend game. Check out Tales of Legend as well. We were playing it at the end. Wes had mentioned his one critique was with the action points. It felt very long to get to his turn. Now, we were brand new to the system, so we're learning what can we do. And I noticed that I just ran some games in Pathfinder, same thing. People are like flipping through their pages to see because they can only use their action points during their turn. The thing about being with the way it's this pool of resources you can spend on different things means you have to be constantly attentive to what's happening in combat, which I think, not having played it yet, I think would actually speed it up in a way and keep more people engaged, which is obviously the goal. But like it seemed to me it's like, oh.
But not only speed it up, from the story element, you really want to see your teammate succeed at something.
Yeah.
So you help it happen. I love that. I'm all about that.
Yeah, you can spend one of your points for them to have a D8.
There's different ways to do that. Yeah.
So, and you can do that for initiative, which I love because if you're somebody that's standing in the back and you don't need to go first, you can be like, I want to give my D8 to the person that's right there, right in the front, who's like gonna need that for initiative. Plus, for initiative, you could use whatever stat you want, right? What was it?
Good evening, Galaxy Fox.
So
Yes. So you can use whatever skill applies to what you were doing just
right before the
combat.
fight.
Yep.
Yeah. So you don't have
Which is Pathfinder.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I think they took some of the really awesome qualities that I like from Pathfinder. They took the chassis from 5th edition because that's the really only thing that's there. Some things they added meat. A lot of language feels the same, like advantage and disadvantage. Now, earlier you mentioned stacking advantage and disadvantage. Do you want to elaborate that a little bit more?
Let's see.
Or is that farther in your notes?
I have it farther in my notes.
Well, never mind. I'll let her get to it later.
Yeah, I know. So let's
Stick tight if you want to know what that means.
Yes. Well, let's see. If you can become at a disadvantage if you keep trying to attack the same person multiple times. So it's like they know you're coming at them. They can defend you better, So you can use extra points to be able to cancel out, the disadvantage. And so you can really pour the action points into what you want to do. So the next point I have was the attributes. So you have 4 attributes. You have might, you have agility, you have intelligence, and you have charisma. There is no constitution. It is split between agility and might. And it caps depending on your level. So the level 1 cap is 3. And you can have a prime attribute modifier. So
Which is your highest.
The prime is your highest
attribute.
Yes.
Becomes your prime. Which the cool thing I liked about that, because we've talked about this like with, even when we were talking about our Bomb Squad campaign in Open Legend too, feeling like agility or dexterity always kind of has an advantage because it is initiative. The same being for perception in a lot of systems always seems like a very important. But with the prime attribute, sorry, Jake's
No, please keep going.
The prime attribute gets, that's what you use in combat. So you could be an intelligent fighter.
Yeah.
Your health might take a hit. There is balance in there for the sheet, so you'll be a little more wimpy, but you could do the Sherlock Holmes style where you can see the battle before it happens and apply it. Your prime attribute becomes the one you're using for combat. So that opens up a lot of flavor play, which... If any of you who know us a long time, we like to, I always say we're terrible chefs, but we have a lot of fun playing games because we love flavor.
It's true. It's true. We flavor everything.
Everything.
The simplest things we love to put a little flavor on. But
Or a puppy.
Or a puppy.
puppy.
She's winning, yes. 𝗟𝐿𝑆y_Quest is giving us a D10.
No, I love
for
that. That was great.
The puppy, except she never wants to lie in the camera. Keep going. Jake, what were you going to say?
Lots of things. Well, the 4-point action system, there's also the minor action, which is or the free action, which is your swap a weapon. It's your
Open a door.
Open a door.
Yeah.
It's your simple things. And you may take one of those on your turn to do that.
Anything after that, though, you do have to spend a point.
Correct. But you
Yeah.
get one free one, which is nice.
You don't want to be wasting an action opening a door. It's,
And so part of that 4-action economy that I really enjoyed was the movement. Because if you spend an action point on movement, if you don't use it right away, it just stores. So if I only move 2 spaces, I still have my 5 or 6 spaces, whatever my movement speed is, left.
Right.
So it's not, because in Pathfinder, if you move and you stop to do something, you're done, which is fine. You have 3 actions. It makes it still.
Right.
I like the 3-action economy a lot, but I do like the idea that you spend, and then you have it.
yeah.
So it's like, so you're planning out your turn. I'm moving. Now I use my free action to open the window, and I use the rest of my movement to go out the window.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Or whatever it may be.
I love it. I just love the action point thing. It's been, from what I've seen, it's coming into a lot of new systems now. I think it's something that just works really well, but I really loved what he does, because we've talked so much about Pathfinder 2e, how we loved the change. We loved the change to the 3-action economy, 1 reaction.
I get so giddy about this system, though. No, for real, though.
Yes, because I like what he did. I like it even better, I think.
I'm not...
Again,
I'm trying to be careful with what I say, because
'cause-
I run 10 to 12 Pathfinder games a week, and I'm like, I'm like, hey guys, you want to try some DC20 because you may really, really like it, because a lot of them came from 5th edition with all of their complaints. And here's Dungeon Coach taking what I think is some of the best qualities of Pathfinder 2nd edition, taking some of the best qualities of D&D 5th edition, and then taking storytelling elements and putting it all together and making it comprehensive and balanced. Freaking balanced.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, math teacher. Sorry, I'm really passionate.
Yeah.
I started diving through this, and I just really, really do enjoy him as a person. I'm enjoying the way he portrays things. If you haven't had a chance, go watch some of his YouTube videos. Fantastic stuff. But he has created a system that I really am looking forward to playing and utilizing just off of the 4-action economy. Like,
You get hyped every time you talk about this. You get hyped because of how he's hyped. Now, I've watched some of the videos, but I've never actually listened to him speak. But even just watching and seeing your excitement and everyone's excitement here, the pages of notes that Kristen has,
yeah.
it's really neat.
It's simple. There is no transcribing your attributes to modifiers. It's just there. So that's really nice. You're not trying to be like, well, I have a 19. Oh, that actually equals a 5. Oh, no, is it a 4? You know, obviously, as you play it a lot, you know it off the top of your head. But this is so intuitive that inviting new people into tabletop RPG using this system, I think is going to be a huge boon. Because it's simple and deep. I don't know how to explain that.
Yeah.
So you can talk about like checks. So if you're going to roll a check, you're going to roll your D20, the attribute, and if you have a mastery, like of the weapon, or I think of a spell too, right? Would that count?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see.
Which is
And
basically, it's
then-
their version of training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or proficiency.
And then
Same idea. Yeah.
saves, you can use might, agility, charisma, or intelligence. So the physical traits are the might and agility, the mental or the charisma and intelligence. And you can use your highest physical or mental save depending on how you've built your character.
Yeah, they've combined them together where it's just mental and then physical. So it makes every character have their own viability.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're not min-maxing. So you're not stressing about all the numbers. So you can really focus on your character, on your storytelling, because you know it's functional and it's balanced, that you can build your wacky build like we love with Open Legend RPG.
Right.
You can build your wacky build and it makes it make sense.
Yep. And I think it's pretty well, from what I said, again, I haven't gotten to play test it yet, but it seems really balanced where there is give and take
Yeah.
on what decisions you make. Ergo, like the smart fighter might not have as much health or defense.
Absolutely.
I have an incoming child. Yes, my love. We're streaming.
Puppies and children.
Puppies
Awesome.
and children. So,
Well,
Welcome to our family.
very family
there's
friendly
our
stream.
other three-nature.
And that's the thing. We love family games. We're always looking for things that we can incorporate our children into.
Yeah. And here is a system that I would love to share with children. I play games at a local library where I teach the locals about tabletop RPGs, specifically not 5th edition. So here's another one that I'm willing to put in my wheelhouse to share with family. That's what we're about. That's what our channel is about. I see in their Galaxy Fox Night Sky. That's what we do. We even want to teach our dogs to role play. It hasn't worked
she's
yet.
in here.
We're trying.
To be fair, it's not our puppy. They're doing a great job with it.
We're trying with her. She's very young.
But
The next thing I was hoping to cover was the by 5 system.
yes, thank you.
So it escalates the good and the bad effects of what happens. So if you roll in D&D to hit something, you roll this massive roll, and then you roll for damage, and you get 1. And,
Yeah.
and you're like,
I mean,
it's really defeating. You're like, I rolled so well to hit, and then my actual damage is so small. So in this system, you roll, and if you are 5 over, you get an extra damage, pretty much, and then if you're 10 over, that's called a brutal hit, and then you get another damage. So it stacks the damage.
yeah.
So
Which is
I
great,
think-
'cause so weapons-
It makes it matter.
Well, and he was explaining it really well in his one YouTube video that he has. And if you read through it, you kind of get the idea, and that's one reason we like Open Legend, because your role, your entire role matters. So for me, he took that and put it into a system that made it comprehensive. So if your sword does 2 points of damage, and then you do above the target number, above their defense is 5. Now you're doing 3 or 4, whatever, however that, it's simple math,
Yeah, there's always a flat damage if you get above, right?
Yeah. For each weapon, it's assigned.
And natural 20, you get +2
Right.
for your damage.
Right.
And natural 1, you do actually completely miss. So
Yeah.
those really matter, which I love, because we all love the moments of the natural 20s and the natural 1s, which I got plenty of in Bomb Squad. But yeah, it makes those things matter. And next thing I have is the help action. So that's when you can add a 1d8 to your ally's roll by using one of your action points.
So this is not a spot I have studied a ton on yet. So I'd love to hear how when you read it and listened to about it, what stuck out to you? How does it work?
So he gave one example where it's the end battle. It is the crescendo of the fight. There's one more, the fighter guy is coming up. Every single player threw in a help so that this person had however many extra d8s to roll to make it one big epic slash down of the bad guy. So that's one way that it can, make it more epic.
Yeah, for sure. And who doesn't like helping their teammates out to complete something, or just buffing them? It's just the idea of the collaborative storytelling. And this is what DC20 brings to the table. Your 4 points that are spread throughout your turn, which is really cool. Like we've said, you don't take that all on your turn. You don't have to. And so you're able to be part of the whole ever-ending story in the combat, in the movement, and all of it. It just flows together.
It
and
requires a lot of strategy. So you're not spending them all right away,
Right.
hopefully,
Right.
in case you need it.
Now I wonder, and I'm curious because I have not sat at the table and played this yet, and that's something I think we're all kind of talking about because of the excitement and hype over this. But we really wanted to jump in and share our feelings about this. I know I did. Is the I forgot where I was going with that. Sorry, I got excited as my wife's over here messing with stuff, and I love it what she's doing. Wow.
I wanted to talk about one thing with Death's Door.
Oh yes, that was something that stuck up. Remember?
That's
Yeah.
when you hit 0 HP, you're at Death's Door. You are not unconscious. You are not actually down. So you need to hit actually -3 HP to actually be officially dead. But it gives the character a chance to, instead of be unconscious, blat, you're dead. It gives them a chance to, if they do actually get hit, they can role play out amazing death scenes and stuff like that, or recoveries back, and all that. So you have this little wiggle room.
Well, much like, so we have people talking in the channel, much like they're saying, and Dungeon Coach did an amazing job explaining it, the healing matters.
Healing does matter.
Healing matters.
Yes.
And it's not the yo-yoing, as I always call it in
Yeah.
D&D 5th edition, which drove me insane as a professional dungeon master. Oh, it drove me nuts. I don't like that. I go down, I get up. I go down, I get up. No, man. That's why one big thing that sold me about Pathfinder 2nd edition was the wounded. Like, you go down, you're getting wounded, so now you're not doing as well. And it allows the flavor of explaining your wounds, but this has a similar feeling. Because, you have that section, it's like, oh no, I'm dying.
And you don't have as many health points anyways. It's a lower health point system. So each point matters a lot more.
Exactly. And so that has that it gives it that tense feeling.
Yeah.
It gives it the storytelling elements that, and then like your healer, like somebody said, could actually become quite the spotlight.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know.
Which I feel like they don't usually get.
It's
not in 5th edition.
In Open Legend, we gave healing a little bit of a boost because we wanted to make their heals. What did you do to change the healing in Open Legend?
Add half level.
Add a half level to it. Yeah.
Just because
So-
it felt lackluster.
Yes, like we needed
Right.
more.
Or you had to flavor it all where they weren't like dying, they just got knocked unconscious, and it becomes this like gray area of like, are we cheating the system? But this, it's there. So DC20 already has it well planned.
Did you guys talk about the stacking yet? Sorry, I have returned.
Welcome back.
we talked about Death's Door.
We have not fully talked about stacking.
Yeah.
So I know it's. Would
Do you mind if I jump into that?
Take it over.
Because the healing is a nice way too. That another thing I think he kind of I don't want to say borrow, but taking the best of like Pathfinder, because I love in Pathfinder, critical success, critical failure is 10 over, 10 under.
Yeah.
So for him, it's every 5.
Oh, we did talk about 5s.
You did talk about the 5. Sorry. That's
No,
what I
you're
was-
good. No.
And you always have a
thinking about.
base
'Cause the healing is
heal.
the same.
You always heal 2.
Yep.
Unless you get a nat 1, then you don't.
That's the only time it fizzles. Right.
But you always will heal.
Yeah, but that generates great story. Why did it fizzle? What caused?
Yeah.
Like that's to me, that's part of the fun of the story making element.
I love that. I love the 5, both up and down. I love those things. The nat 20, nat 1 is just not enough for me personally.
Nope.
That's why I love in Pathfinder having the 10 over. Open Legends the same. 10 over is exceptional success. So with this, I love the tier system of it. With every 5, you're getting more.
So I don't know if you caught, we do have Dungeon Coach in here.
What?
Yeah.
Hi. Hi. Thank you for popping in.
He's in here chatting about it with us too.
Oh,
and
that's wonderful.
I'm blown away by this, Coach. For real. Like
Yeah.
I love it. Sorry, I don't know if you saw. I was putting my kids back in bed.
regardless, first of all, great color choice. Purple. Right on the money there.
So the next thing I wanted to talk about were the marshals. There's 2 different ways you can go. Marshals or spellcasters. You can mix them too. But the marshals are based on stamina. They have a smaller pool to choose from. And you can gain stamina and lose stamina during a fight. So, and different classes regain them in different ways. So
Yeah, that was so cool.
yeah, so the barbarians will gain it by hitting hard or getting hit hard.
I love that.
yeah.
Sorry, I love, because that's always I felt missing for barbarians.
Was it? I think it was
that they like to get hit.
Yes, yeah.
You
So
know.
you can actually regain, and it makes me think of like video games where you have your little bars, and it's
Oh yeah, like
So your
wasn't Mortal
stamina bar,
Kombat?
yeah.
If you got hit enough, you could power up.
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
A lot
that.
of the fighter games do that.
yeah. So it has that kind of feel to it, which
But
I
also
really
has a
like.
real feel to it because you're not on a dungeon crawl. I want to test this on a dungeon crawl because of the resource control management idea
Right.
of the stamina, of the health, and stuff like that. I think that could be a lot of fun working your way through that. And then
Yes.
there's you were saying, we'll keep going with the. I was gonna jump to spellcasting, but keep going with your martial stamina.
yeah, I got a
Sorry.
little bit more. I got a
Kristen
little
keeps
more.
the boys focused.
Yeah.
Kristen and Michelle.
It's also excited.
So all the marshals have access to maneuvers, which I played a fighter character very recently in our Nobles of
Yes.
Waterdeep
Yep.
show, and he was a fighter who used maneuvers.
5th edition,
So
yeah.
5th edition. And so
Did you thumbs down? Everybody drank. Thumbs down. Everybody has to drink if Jake makes fun of 5e.
you can spend additional points to add maneuvers. I believe it's like maneuvers you've learned that you choose from. So, and then there are also defensive maneuvers. And then there are techniques, and there's a list you can choose from for those. And then you have weapons, which have passive and active effects on them. So that's the martial kind of breakdown.
Absolutely.
Do you want to take over Spellcaster?
Well, no.
I see you in chat.
No, I just wanted to comment that the resource of the stamina being inside combat only. And yes, that is true. I was just saying in general, the whole system I think would be really fun through a dungeon crawl because in combat you have a resource you have to manage as part of it. So,
and I'm sure they've already found this in alpha test. I'm sure people have found ways to ask to use stamina outside of combat and stuff like that.
I mean, I'm sure people can push the
easily
system. We don't know anybody who does that.
No, nobody.
All right, so
I
tell
might be
me.
guilty of that.
Spellcaster.
Well, how about you tell me about mana points?
Yes, so mana points are I have in spell enhancement, so you can pour points into it. You can combine or enhance the spells in many different ways. That's what I thought was really cool. So you won't not only have a fireball, but you can have a fireball that splits off and hits other enemies depending on how many points you're adding into it. And instead of having weapons, you have cantrips that have passive and active effects. So every spell will have a spell check to it. We talked about how heal will always have a minimum of 2. Natural 1 is a fail. 𝐵5 applies. And players can combine spells together. So two different players
I must have missed
can
that.
work together to combine spells.
How did I miss
They have the
this?
same one.
This is why I need to run it.
Yeah. And
Yes.
you don't forget your spells. You gain your spells over time and you keep them. You're not just like all of a sudden one day I forgot how to do that. Like after I've been doing it for many years. And there's no prepping of spells. You have your spells, you have your spell sheet, and you can use any of those depending on how many points you have left.
Wow. No, it's a lot to take in, but it's not. Like, you're looking at it, I'm looking at the character sheet. It's pretty, it's simple, it's intuitive, and it makes sense. And then, like I said, it's pulling from multiple different systems, in my opinion, the good, and making it into something special.
Yeah.
Something that's going to create great storytelling. Now, as you guys are reading through this and listening to Dungeon Coach talk, what are some characters, ideas that instantly come to your mind that you couldn't make in 5th edition or Pathfinder?
I got one.
I want to hear it.
It's kind of funny because it actually goes into multi-classing. Did you guys talk about that?
Not yet. No.
It could lead because of the way he set up a multi-classing. I was like, you could totally make a Jedi with this now, because you take the Scion. So if you want to be a Jedi counselor, you could start with Scion and then multi-class with Little Fighter. Muscle Wizard Galaxy. Yes, absolutely. Everyone always wants one of those.
Muscle Wizard.
Muscly Wizard. And then I was thinking a Jedi Knight is a fighter of some kind and then takes a little Scion for the Force powers. And on top of that, I was thinking the way the system's been designed, I feel like you could easily reflavor for any setting. Even though it's kind of more like 5th edition in that natural lean towards fantasy, I was seeing the way it's set up easly reflavored.
That was actually one of my points.
Setting agnostic. Yeah, because when he was describing the multi-class, I thought of a Jedi. I don't know why that popped in my head.
But I can automatically already see reflavoring steampunk things. Even mana, if you wanted to do away with magic, you reflavor it to being like, well, how much steam power is left in my vehicle or mech or piece of equipment or something along those lines. You could easily reflavor. And I know now we're talking homebrew stuff, but the fact that the system
Although I wouldn't even say necessarily homebrew, right? It's just I would call
reflavor.
It
You're right,
because you're not changing any rules.
Right, you would just reflavor the rule and make it make sense for your storytelling. So I think that it's kind of cool that the system is intuitive enough. And
right,
I don't want to. I don't like saying simple because it's deep.
Right.
But
simplicity doesn't have to be not deep, right?
Yeah, you're right.
And Jedi was one of the inspirations for a subclass. Actually, is what Galaxy Fox.
Scion
meant to
subclass.
say.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
See, that's stuff that we
makes
got.
That's so funny because it's just naturally what I thought. I
That's
mean,
how-
obviously, you get any kind of vaguely Force-like powers, and you think Jedi, but like, yes, intuitive is right. Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly
In
what
the chat.
that's what I wanted to say. Yeah.
Oh man, there was something else I was thinking about.
Sorry, I took
No,
it
you're
over
good.
again.
You're the best.
Well, one would say I'm a little excited about this. I get pretty geeked out when things really fit the kind of story I would like to tell as a GM.
Right.
And I think, knowing I have a rather large player base, I've played with a lot of people, and I've heard the gripes from different systems. And this is a good answer. And so when people are griping to me about a system and the way the rules are, I'd be like, well, we could go play DC20.
Right. I could try to homebrew all of this for you.
Well, that's the thing.
Or
Well, with 5th edition for years, I
Yes.
was sitting here homebrewing. I was pretty much making entirely another
You were just
games with the
making-
chassis of 5th edition. And and then you always feel a little like, am I being balanced? Am I being fair to my players? Am I giving
Right.
this player too much? And
You're smiling because Wes is
yeah,
calling you out. already.
Wes, yeah. Why, Wes? Would you like to be part of it?
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
if the coach plays. well,
Oh
yeah,
man,
you
I
wanna
would
play?
love to run this for the coach. That would be so cool. Well, I guess
There's only 10 levels too, which is really nice. So you can actually finish a campaign within a
Yes,
decent amount
right,
of
that's
time.
right.
It's not going to take forever. I mean, we
you can make it take forever.
Yes.
our 5-year campaign Bomb Squad was 10 levels, but I would say that was extra special circumstances. We played once a month.
Extra special.
Yes, it was also milestone leveling. so-
Yes, milestone leveling. So you can do the prestige system, which is 1 through 20, though, if you really want to stick to the 20
Right.
level system.
I think Galaxy's correct. We should run a one-shot on our channel.
I would
That
love
would
to
be
do that
really
if- yes.
fun.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go through the classes that there are?
Sure.
List them
And this
off?
is just in the playtest.
Yes.
I mean,
Right.
I'm just saying.
So you can be
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying. They're going to
So
make
you
something
can-
better here. I tell you what.
you can be a fighter, a barbarian, a warlord was something really interesting. So you're like the commander of the battlefield. You can kind of tell people where to go. Paladin, you can be holy or unholy paladin. You can be a monk, a ranger, a rogue, and let's see. I like the different. I'm interested to see the druid to come out for the spellcaster kind of thing. But there are
Oh, yeah.
wizard, sorcerers, cleric, holy or unholy cleric, and the scion, which is the psychic, mental or telekinesis kind of powers. So
Now, they've also
So cool.
unlocked, it looks like, the Kickstarter. If you haven't had a chance, guys, go check out the Kickstarter.
Get in there now.
Michelle's got
That's
it up
what we're
there.
do we
previewing.
got?
Yeah.
What do we got?
Hours?
49 hours left? 48? Or
about
some
that.
49 hours left?
Let's go. I would love it if, I mean, even if just us doing this added a few more.
Come on, get up in there and check
There's
it out,
a $2
guys.
million stretch goal, right?
There is a $2
And
million
they're
stretch goal.
wicked close,
They're
relatively
way close,
speaking.
relatively speaking, yeah. But they unlocked the Spellblade. I don't know if you've said that
No, I
one.
didn't
So, yeah,
see
she's
that
got
one.
up on the screen. Let's scroll down a little bit.
oh,
for me.
that's so exciting.
Back down.
There it is.
Yep.
And then the next one, what's the stretch
Oh,
goal for the
Battle
next
Bard,
one?
That sounds cool.
It's for was it for ancestries? Or what do they call them in this system? Races, ancestries? Yeah, 4 new ancestries at 2 million. So exciting.
Sorry, Wes. I'm spending Wes's
exciting.
money.
Shut up and take my money.
I'm not making you. I'm just saying.
Just suggesting that, Wes, you could play with us.
I was saying.
If you don't Kickstart it and prove it to me, you're not playing. I'm just kidding.
You know what? This system makes me want to play a spellcaster, which even in a one shot, which is really surprising for me because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to do a fighter. But just reading off of the different kind of spellcasters you can be and how it works, I'm like, I can do that. I can actually run a spellcaster in a more simplified way.
Well-
and there are still spells that you can see,
Yeah.
read, and
I was
use.
going to say, you like to have the spells, something to work off of.
Something to work off
Yes,
of, yeah,
yeah.
and then flavor off of that, you know.
Right.
I loved in his video when he was talking about spell slots. He was like, I don't remember the hand gesture. I just remember the feeling of like being in his shoes.
Yes.
And spell slots, they have a feeling about them that is kind of meh.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
No, it's interesting. Yeah.
you hit your max. Like, you can't go above what level you're at for what kind of spell you're using.
Yeah, they have some really good caps, and
But the wizard can spend one more mana, have one more mana spell,
Oh, right.
or
Push
something.
beyond.
Yeah.
I think
And
the sorcerer can do something similar. The sorcerer can push their physical body and start taking damage. Yep, which I love. I love that.
It's just,
and then let's talk a little bit
It is
about
Ancestries, by the way, Jake. Yeah.
It is Ancestors, yeah. Yeah. Which I actually really like. I like that. And they changed feats to talents, so which is kind of nice because my one gripe about Pathfinder is you have class feats, you have skill feats, you have
Path Builder, I just click all.
and sometimes being that they're all called feats or features, it can get a little muddled when you're trying to teach a new player. The fact that it differentiates, and this is just a little thing, but it sticks out to me, was calling it talents. And
Delivery's everything.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing, is it's crisp and purple and clean.
But then you lose the joke of which foot, right or left.
I know. I do that joke a lot. You're right. You're absolutely right. But they had the whole player progression table. I don't know if you got a chance to look at that. And I like the fact that there's an attribute cap at 1 and it goes up to 4. So attribute cap at level 1 is 3. At level 5 it's 4. And it's kind of fun. And then there's the skill mastery level cap. It goes novice, adept. But it all goes up around the same time with the caps. So it's not like, oh man, what level are we? Do I go up with this cap or that cap? It just happens at level 4, the caps raise.
Yes.
So it's like,
that's similar to Open Legend away, right?
Exactly.
Unlocking your power level based on it. And it's just whatever level you hit,
boom.
That's it for everybody.
Correct.
I want to shout out something because I want to spend Wes's money. We were just saying, I really feel like, because he was saying Wes doesn't lean towards high fantasy games as much. I really feel like, to say it again, I think you can reflavor this pretty easy. Now, that's coming from people who it's our want to reflavor everything.
Listen, it's coming from people who I literally was giving them level ups in Outlaws of Alkenstar. If you want to watch a fantastic actual
really
play
good.
that's pretty short, Outlaws of Alkenstar on our channel.
Yes.
Literally gave them level ups. They're like, well, we don't think we can take that.
Yeah, it just
And so they literally went through this adventure not taking level ups.
because it's about the story.
It's about the
we
story.
almost died.
But
But legitimately, I really feel it's what we've been saying. Obviously, it does have that tendency. It's built that way because it's a response to 5th edition, or not. It's a response to Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro, Dungeons and Dragons in general.
I actually think it's just a response to his self-love for wanting a good tabletop RPG.
There we go. Yes, don't let me put, if you're still on there, don't let me put any words in your mouth. But it feels like a response to Dungeons and Dragons and what people are looking for, not in like a nasty type of way.
Yeah.
And so it tends to have that high fantasy lean. But I really feel like it's taking the best of Pathfinder and Dungeons and Dragons, like we said, but then having this open feel reminds me of sagas. It reminds me of like Tales of Legend, Open Legend, Cogent, where it's flexible, and I feel like it really could be setting agnostic.
Puffer Nami, which I love the name, said that easiest time they've ever had homebrewing a system because everything has a point assigned.
Nice. And we'll just because I'm a nerd and I like specifying language, homebrewing meaning the setting and stuff like that. I assume a homebrew.
I'm probably even homebrewing some rules in there. Probably is not that difficult. No, I'm not. I'm not at that point. I'd like to run a little bit, but I mean, the first thing I do is I start thinking of homebrew elements.
It's
but
what the hardcore player people do, right? We're just like, oh, how can I twist this and play with the numbers? What was I thinking? One thing on that, I was curious if you can build your own spells at some point. It seems like it would lend itself to that.
It doesn't look that hard to do.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, when I was looking through it, now I haven't played around with it.
Right.
And I have been building some of my own spells in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, playing around with making a true blue mage. If you're interested, hit me up. Blue mage from Final Fantasy, just to put it out there. But honestly, it would be easier, even just kind of looking at this, I think it would be easier to make spells. It doesn't look that complicated. What?
Multiple people are saying when a guy who's homebrewing all the time makes a system, it's homebrew friendly. I love that.
Yeah. I mean,
it feels that way.
Yeah.
You can feel it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So if you haven't had a chance, check out their Kickstarter. They're rounding up on $2 million. They're going to be unlocking 4 new ancestries. Fantastic system. Honestly, even before you go to their Patreon, check out Dungeon Coach's YouTube. He's done some awesome stuff. He had Bob World Builder on there.
Yeah.
He's had some other names that are not coming to my head right now, but it's been fun to watch. And his passion for the system alone excites me. But then to see other people joining in that I've watched Bob for a while, so I've enjoyed him. I enjoy some of his videos and stuff like that. And for him to see, sit and enjoy it, was, it's like, man, this system's a good system. Now I know those are all professionals and they all love tabletops,
Right.
but I'm telling you right now that this up next weekend, you guys can hold me to it. I'm going to run this with my 12-year-old, my 9-year-old, and my 5-year-old, and I'll
hold you to it.
She'll
I'll
hold
be
me to
there.
it.
I'll be there.
The producer has spoken.
No, look, and Dungeon Coach has kids, so he fully understands. But I'm gonna run
makes
this with
sense.
my kids next weekend. Period. And I really, because my kids push systems. That's what I love about them.
Yes.
I absolutely will. Thank you, Coach. And I totally understand. I may have heard my eldest just there for a second. It was like,
Yeah. Awesome. So, check this out, guys. Seriously, go look at his YouTube videos. Fantastic. Purple. I've said it a million times in this video. I don't care. It's my favorite color. Purple.
we got to get you a new outfit. That's
I know. Purple.
Get
Yeah.
you a purple jacket. Like
I'm
that.
all about it.
Let's
dude.
do
Yeah.
it.
A lot bigger than yours, though.
I'm getting there. I'm getting
Yeah.
there.
Your dad bod needs a little work.
Shout out to Dad Bod channel though.
Dad
Bod.
Support our
Oh my
family
gosh.
with that.
Thank you.
That's Dan's brother.
I appreciate that, Coach. I see you in chat. That's amazing.
But yeah, check it out. Patron, or well, he has a patron too. I mean,
Yes.
hit Coach's patron too.
'em all
So
up.
hit it all up.
Because we're happy to spend everybody else's money.
Spend all your money on DC20, please.
Yes.
But seriously,
run a game for you.
all the people who are watching and people who watch us in the future, comment below. Tell us some of your ideas that you want to use this system for. Some of the settings you want to use this system in.
Yes,
Some of the
comment so we
characters.
convince Wes to try it in a non-high fantasy setting.
What are the best characters
Oh.
you can come up with?
Yeah, we haven't unlocked Super Chat yet.
No, we're not
Sorry,
quite
Coach.
there.
We're
We're so close.
We're so close.
We've
We're a
unlocked
little
Rumble
small.
Rants on Rumble. So you really
Yes,
gotta go
Rumble
there.
Rants.
DM test. All right, guys. But we are supposed to cover another topic tonight.
Yes.
So we will get to that in a moment. I just, if you guys would, comment below. Tell us the setting. I know the setting that comes to my mind is I've always wanted to do this. I call it Earth Shatter, where it's like the world's exploded because of some magic ley lines have blown up. And so it's a fantastical world, but there's some interesting going on. I think it'd be very easy to do in the system. You know what I mean? Like leans itself well to a low fantasy setting, I think.
I
Oh,
think
the
so too.
Scion, though,
So-
would work really well.
Right.
Yeah, no, I really do. I
You're
think
floating
it
in
would work well.
space and grabbing onto rocks and moving,
I
moving
mean,
through
that's so
meteorites.
cool.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
especially because the base damage, health is low, and comparatively, and then base damage being static numbers, I think allows you to be flexible. You can make it.
But it also has that feeling of like, I'm going to die.
Yes, right. Which you talked about wanting to have that feeling with the deaths and everything. Yeah. He's getting excited. Easy.
I want to run this so bad. I want to run it tonight.
So for the next hour
whole cup of
of
coffee.
Thank
Drew's
you.
table,
All right, guys. But I do think to DC20, it is time to clink
Clink
and drink. Oh, awesome.
now I can get back to my book.
All right. Our next topic. So I went to Origins in Columbus this past weekend. Had a blast. I was there representing Evil Genius Games, running some tables for them. Everyday Heroes. You've seen us do some stuff on our channel before. But I ran into so many things. So over the next couple Druids tables, I would like to highlight a couple products. One product that jumped out to me right away was, first of all, the CEO was fantastic. Ridge, you were awesome. If you get a chance to watch this, great job at showing a product, being, sharing it with my kids and stuff. But it's a card game. Now, let's see. I've been playing Pokemon trading card game for, I don't want to admit, but a long time. And I went through my addiction, and now we're through with that. And I've moved to Magic the Gathering. That was very short-lived because who likes Wizards of the Coast? So to fill this addiction that I admit that I have, I found a card game that fulfills...
spending money too.
Well, yeah.
for Magic the Gathering.
Oh, well, yeah.
Pay to play.
I wasn't going to bring up the negative change of push.
Everybody drink. I make fun of Magic the Gathering.
I liked Magic the Gathering. I couldn't stand a lot of business choices, 𝗟𝐶, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to get into it. But I found this really cool card game called Alpha Clash. The biggest thing that stuck out to me right away was
I don't know if they'll be able to.
Is it a card game?
it started out as a
book.
novel, like a 500-page novel of how these characters interact with one another, where they came from, some history, some pretty fun storytelling. My 9-year-old, he's 9, right?
No, he's 10.
He's 10?
He's 10.
Time flies.
My 10-year-old has barely put it down since we got home from Origins. I've had to hey, dude, you got to go feed the animals. And then Michelle's like, yeah, your dad's hungry. Feed him. Beauty and the Beast right here. But it's really fun because it's also set in like this one right here, San Francisco. So it's like an alternate universe feeling. So it has that hometown feeling. Mm-hmm. And the art was really nice. Now, even with Munchkin, some of the cards, because I have younger kids, I take out of the deck because they're a little risky. They're not terrible, but they're a little risky. I have yet to find a card in here that I'm like, I don't want my kid staring at this yet. You know, which I know seems weird, but from a dad's perspective, I do want to protect my little ones. And the art's beautiful. It's based off of a story, so there's a ton of lore.
Yeah.
And
very comic book.
Speaking of comic book, they just finished their Kickstarter for their first set of comic books. What do you got?
There's Trug instead of Krug.
Yeah.
And there's Lord Krung.
Yes.
So together they make
Who's a contender. Not that means anything. But we do have, I don't know how many people in our channel are interested in trading card games and stuff like that.
The links are in the description
Yeah.
for this as well. Both the YouTube channel for the whole company and then also Alpha Clash specifically.
Yeah.
So check those out.
So it's a card game. Michelle and I have played it against each other 5-6 times now.
No.
Not how many?
Maybe like 3 because I think we're tied. Or no.
Oh no, I'm ahead of
You're
you by
ahead
one.
It was you, me, you for
Yeah.
winning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Close. I'm next.
I'm gonna
I'll
beat you
win.
tonight.
No.
She's very competitive, and so she likes
I
playing
just
these
win.
games against me.
That's what every
But it's fun.
competitive player-
My 10-year-old plays. He gets it. It's not that complicated, but it has a depth. It has a strategy about it, which I really enjoy. Also, there's no mana burn. Every single card can be a resource.
Oh, interesting.
Period.
Okay.
It
So-
makes it more like a chess game. That was the hardest part for me to be like, wait a minute. Any card I have to put something down, and it's not solely a mana. Like with Pokemon or something, Pokemon, it's like, oh, you just get a water
energies.
Right.
or energy.
But
You
like
always
you
have some
could,
kind of resource
if you
you
don't
have.
draw a land or a mana or whatever your resource is, sometimes you get stuck.
Right.
Well, this you just sacrifice a card, and that's their resource.
Interesting.
So every card has a value to be
Has a base
used,
value,
but it's
yeah.
also a resource. So it's like it's really kind of fun that way. And so the idea is if anybody has done Magic the Gathering, it has a commander-like feel because you have a card that is your contender or your hero, whatever you want to call it, but they call it contender in this system, and that is who you are playing as. And then your cards are your teammates and stuff like that in different forms. And the idea is like you go into clashes, and it's supposed to be like an epic storytelling over time. So as you're playing your cards,
Okay.
you could play a card where you clash with the enemy contender. So it's picture like Heroes where they clash in different places with the
Thus,
bad guys.
Alpha Clash.
Right. So I have a card
Gotcha.
in my deck you go to Denver. And so you're at Denver, and it gives a bonus to certain groups who are from Denver according to the lore, and which can actually benefit both sides of the table if they have some of the characters or reasons from Denver. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it all ties in to the lore, so you feel like you're playing the character from the book as a card game. So it
That's
has this
cool.
kind of a story element, much like when we did Champions
added the
of
story
'8.
with
We added a
Champions.
story. The story is here based off of lore.
Yes.
So you can feel like you're watching your contender battle in these clash zones. And but you do it through the cards and stuff. And of course, that's our family doing that. You could just solely look at it as a tactical card game.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we can't help.
Well, I can't help but add story. I did pick up while we were down there this massive box. So anybody who has done draft, so table trading card games,
There it is.
they often have a thing called draft. It's very popular here in Rochester.
We have a large Magic the Gathering following.
Right.
And I think it's a little cheaper
There's
to do the draft games.
Well, and they're fun because they're random cards.
They're
You get to
random
meet
cards,
people
yes.
and random people, and
It's a
it's cool. It's a
totally
great way to
different
grow
thing.
your card hand. You know, but they do a whole box for you and your friends to do together. So this is a
That's really
draft
cool.
box. It has, it's got 197 unique cards in it. The draft rules are a little bit different than the normal rules in the sense of like the size of your deck. A traditional deck is 50 cards. Draft decks are smaller. I actually don't fully know. But this is supposed to be for
They're meant to be quick and dirty games.
correct. So you draft,
Right.
you open your packs, and
Yep.
you pass it around, and then you build your decks, and you battle each other, and then whoever wins, you know, there's usually prizes or something. But I guess for me, for you guys watching, and for the people who watch this in the future, comment below. I know DC20 guys, you're going to rock it, and you're going to comment a ton, which is fantastic. But anybody who's interested in Alpha Clash and wants us to do this on the stream where we draft and make some decks and play around as the four goofy people we are and create some stories and have fun with it and just kind of look at the cards and the art, let me know because it's something we can do.
Yes. I want to figure it out. Because what was the other thing we unboxed? Divinity.
I know.
yes.
I know.
It's
And then
on the list, guys. Truly.
I honestly picked up a couple other products too from Origins that we're going to have to eventually talk
He rolls
about.
his eyes at himself.
I am. I roll my eyes at myself because I have all these dreams and I want to like really. I like sharing these things with people because
Yeah.
I'm all about. I play this with my kiddos because
Yeah.
I want to do stuff with my children. So I find these games that I play as a family, and as a dad, you're just always a kid at heart.
Yes. Yeah, we got. I mean, a lot of people wanted us to do Divinity. If you guys want to see us do Alpha Clash, let us know. I got to figure out the right camera setup.
But that's the thing is that I
we
don't
can
know if
have
maybe this is
something-
easier to start getting it
It's
and
true.
then move to the bigger board game. We'll figure that out. Dan
Right.
and I'll figure that out. But
Yeah. If you guys check out our Champions of 𝕉𝖈 live play, that's a trading card game. We did it online with the two creators. You can see how we do make a story out of it. We add a lot more flavor, so hopefully it would be entertaining. But
A lot of fun.
Figure out the tech.
I mean, she's
Kid friendly.
It's
I
Yes.
loved it.
Yes, the Champions of 𝕉𝖈.
Yes.
We always try to be relatively, for those new here, we try to be family friendly adjacent.
You can play it around your kids.
It's
and
not intended
They
for
won't hear
kids,
anything
but
they
yeah,
really
yeah.
shouldn't.
awesome. Well, I think that covers it. I just wanted to touch
This
a little
is so
bit.
cool. I love the art.
Yeah.
It's really great.
But it's different.
Yep.
Like you said, it's comic book,
Logo
heroic.
Yeah.
is really cool. It always the little Yu-Gi-Oh feel to me, and like because it seems ancient.
Well-
No, you know what it looks like? Stargate.
Oh, wow.
It reminds me of
Oh.
Stargate,
Okay, yeah.
right? Stargate Atlantis.
I
a
see
little
it.
bit.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Because
But
we are
art and
nerds. We all
story,
know
though.
these. But it's
The
really
artwork
cool.
can really make something like when the look of it is
Yep.
important.
Well, then,
This is-
I mean, literally the first thing he goes, well, it's actually built off of lore. I was like, well, I'm sold. Got me on lore.
You got it.
You know,
They're working on a board game now. Is that correct? Or
no,
am I-
they just finished a board game.
they finished the board game.
I think the
Okay.
Kickstarter just finished for a board game. I got to double check now. So they do have a board game and a comic book line. They're starting with this.
I was wondering because
Nice.
Yeah.
it's calling for
And
that. isn't
I
it?
think if you guys are listening, you should make a tabletop RPG based on it. Just saying.
Or we could just use DC20
Boom.
in this lore setting.
Victory.
oh,
Victory.
there it is.
There it is. Tie it all in.
That
Easy.
is-
What's the plot of the novel?
I haven't read it.
Michelle, you sped read it, right?
I
You read
did.
it in a hot
I've been
second.
kind of skimming it.
A
As,
massive explosion rocks Kern Labs in Geneva.
there it is.
Geneva, isn't that like near us?
In New York?
Well, there's
Now I
there's
gotta
lots
know.
of them.
Now I gotta know.
It's not. No, not
No,
that.
I think
But
it's
hey, we
Geneva.
could.
Triggering
Homebrew
a
it.
global phenomenon. People all around the world known as alphas awaken with extraordinary powers and an insatiable desire for battle. So essentially,
Really?
what this deck
Awesome.
is, this alpha kit is you have an alpha who's awakened and they want battle, and then you have an alpha hunter, and they clash all over the place.
Oh,
So
so
that's-
that's why you got the soldier types in here.
Correct. So you have
Very
Okay.
mutant-esque.
correct. So
Cool,
yeah,
cool.
yeah. That's like X-Men.
Robotic.
That's what it makes me think
Yeah.
of.
Robotic sort of things too. Some of the characters.
yeah, there are
there?
some like
Lin.
robot looking. Yeah,
Yes,
Lin.
L-I-N-N.
Right, because the normies got to contend with the power
Yeah.
folk.
But it
That's
is-
cool. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Mm.
And nobody cares.
It's super
about
short
Western New York,
chapters.
Jake.
There's like 200 chapters, by the way, but it's because some of them are only a few pages. It's very can be like an
interesting.
easy read.
Yeah.
Okay, just
good.
121, 22.
I didn't say anything naughty this stream, Mr. Mustache. Sorry.
Should we all
I behaved myself.
clink and drink to that?
Oh, Steelheart by
I'm
Kristen,
happy.
She's
That's
trying to
fine.
close it off.
No, I'm just saying, hey, I keep it clean. I like it.
Hey, seriously, go check out DC20.
Yes.
Awesome product. If you're in a trading card game, go check out Alpha Clash. I'd love to see this destroy 𝗏𝕗𝑔𝑄𝑗𝑠.
That would be cool.
I would love to see that. At least be a contender.
Yes.
Yes.
So
We get a little, all these games we've been
I
playing.
could
take a
nibble.
little-
Thanks, DM Nails.
And there it is.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Yes. Thank you. Enjoying the dog cam. We slayed the dog. We put children to bed thrice. And that's how we do
That is how we do.
here at Druid Stable, Avenue Studios. The coach was here. Coach, if you ever watch the end of this later, thank you so much for stopping in. Thank you to all the DC20 folk who were popping in here. What was the name of the owner of Alpha Clash? Ridge?
Ridge
Ridge.
Kylie.
Ridge Kylie. Thank you so much.
He signed the
By the
book.
way-
We have a signed
Oh,
book.
yes. Yeah, they signed the book for them. So cool. This has been another fantastical chat with Druid's Table, an Avenue Studios production. Do give us a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell to follow the adventure. You can further support us and become a part of the ever-growing force known as Avenue Studios by joining our locals or Patreon community. Doing so not only helps us continue to create high-quality content, but you'll also gain access to bonus content as well as our private Discord, where you can chat with us, play Westmarch Kingmaker campaign in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. That is going amazing. There's been some great roleplay. Bridgetown is beginning to become a thing, so there's now 𝕗𝑔𝑄𝑗𝗁 and Bridgetown. Kingdoms are being made, lords are being defeated.
Where
Join
sharks
us.
are appearing.
Where sharks may be appearing because people called for it.
Come join.
Come join.
Get your own place in the.
Become a hero,
Stolen
a
lands.
mercenary, or a settler, and change the fate of 𝕝𝑔𝑄𝑗𝗁. And check out the links in the description below for sound, music, and ambience that we use, as well as DC20. Hit them up. It's like 47 hours, 48 hours now left in the Kickstarter. And check out Alpha Clash. And thank you so much for joining this chat. We will see you next time. All right, bye.
Good night, y'all.
Bye.